everyone, welcome back on my channel. Today I thought I would read some stories from the I Regret Having Children Facebook page yet again. And if you don't know this page, it's basically a page where people anonymously can share their stories about regretting having kids or hardships in general that they have about having kids, so they can share with other people without putting their names on it. And honestly, I just think this is a very great thing that we have come to a place where people are starting to share the bad sides about having kids, and everything isn't painted to be perfect and this perfect picture as it has been a lot before. So I'm really glad about people being honest about the negative sides of having kids and why they regret it, so that they can help other people not make the mistake that they have made. So the first story says, I actually chose to never become a mother when I was about 18 years old. I've pretty much stuck with that decision and have never regretted it until about 8 months ago, when my life was upended. It was St. Paddy's Day. I was working and thinking about preparing shepherd's pie for dinner for my partner and myself. Instead, my plans were stalled by CPS and foster care workers storming our house to place my partner's 2.5-year-old great-grand-nephew with us. His niece, the mother, has lots of problems, and CPS decided to remove the child from her care. If someone hadn't stepped up, then the child wouldn't have been placed with licensed foster parents. The very thought was abhorrent to the family. No one else could or wanted to step up. So family members looked to my partner. They knew he would do what they thought needed to be done. Of course, I feel that no one really wanted to hear what I had to say or how I felt about this whole situation. It was supposed to be temporary. I was also assured by CPS that there would be support for being foster kin. Needless to say, it is turning into an indefinite situation. There is little to no support for foster kin outside things like paying for daycare, preschool. I have struggled. I have wanted to pull my hair out, wondering how I cope with a child who has been traumatized and neglected. How do I balance my career, relationship? How do I do this and maintain my own interests? How do I take care of my own needs? Since the little guy landed with us, I've taken on a huge bulk of the responsibility for his care. I've been the one who has dealt with CPS and foster care, navigated the very delicate and tumultuous terrain between my partner and his sister, the grandmother, as well as making sure he is fed, clean, dressed, and taken to school. I've been the one who has had to find ways to deal with the outbursts that are trauma behaviors. Fortunately, some of this has subsided a bit in recent months, but early on I struggled to get this child in a car seat. It would take me at a minimum of 20 minutes, sometimes even changing his diaper was a major saga. On the one hand, I wanted to run screaming from this whole situation. I wanted to leave something my partner senses and dreads. Recently, I've also had both my partner and his sister-in-law ask me if I felt like a mother yet. The answer is no. I never planned on this. I've never felt the need to prove to myself that I could be or even wanted to be a mother. The feelings I have around this whole situation are complex, intense, and loaded with gray areas. I want leave. I want my life back. I want to focus on my work and the activities that I had personal time for prior to the child landing in my life. I feel anger at my partner's niece for selfishly bringing children into the world that she isn't capable of taking care of because she can't even take care of herself, effectively placing a burden on family to pick up her slack. I feel a similar leap of anger at his sister, the grandma, for the harm she inflicted on her own children resulting in this situation. I feel guilt and that I somehow a horrible person for not just being on board with rearing a child in need. I feel tired, exhausted, depressed, anxious because I work a lot. Plus I'm in my mid-50s. I feel frustrated that my partner has become attached to him and now feels obligated to care for him. He believes that God will somehow resolve the situation. By some divine providence, family or friends will come forward and this boy will have a stable, loving place to land. I don't share that level of faith. All I know is this means I continue to bear a brunt of the child care burden. I feel my options are to put up with this or end my relationship. Here's the additional complication. I love my partner. He's a good man. It's not all bad. I have marveled at how this child has responded, how he has grown and transformed during his time with us. I've witnessed him going from only speaking about 5 words to expressing himself in full sentences. From having total meltdowns when he was being put in a car seat to getting him to be able to walk right into my car and into his car seat with no problems. I feel on some level I can relate because I had a parent and brother just like his mother. I can imagine what his young eyes have seen, what his ears have heard. This breaks my heart to think about. It certainly unearths a lot of my own trauma from childhood and my young adult years. I do care for and love the little guy. I care where he lands, that is a safe, loving home. I feel that maybe my partner and I have done the most we can for the little guy. I don't know what the answer is with this. I'm surrounded by people who have chosen to be parents. I'm the one to conscientiously choose not to, and yet they are taking their lead from me. I find this sad and odd. I guess I would like to take more of a backseat as opposed to be at the forefront of it. Thank you for listening. So my boyfriend is a godfather. So if my boyfriend's youngest brother were to die and the mother of those kids also were to die, he would have to take responsibility of one of the girls. So this is a situation that can happen in my life as well. I just don't think it will, because I couldn't imagine both of them dying like before my boyfriend. So I don't ever think that is something that's actually gonna happen, but it could, because he is a godfather. And it's very hard that she has been put in this situation, especially when she's in her 50s. So she's not of a young age. So she can't really like care for a kid as well as she could when she was younger. And I just think all around this is a really, really hard situation. And I really don't know what she's supposed to do. Because if the kid really doesn't have anywhere else to go at the moment, she kind of has to suck it up and like be a parent for the kid. I really hope for them that there comes a family who's willing to take care of this small kid so that they don't have to. But I also think it becomes harder the more time that he has been with them, because I think automatically, whether you want kids or not, there will be a connection formed with this kid, because you get to know the kid. And so just as he writes, she has seen how the kid has developed and how he feels like he is at a more safe place. And that's why he doesn't have as many, as he calls it, trauma reactions. The kid doesn't have as many outbursts because he's starting to feel safe where he is. And I also just think it would be really wrong, personally, to take a kid from a place where he finally feels safe. Because you cannot know if the next family that are willing to take him, if they are going to be good parents. So I just think she kind of needs to be responsible in this case, because she doesn't have any other choice. Because whether we want kids or not, I still think that we have a responsibility just like everybody else. And if a kid doesn't have any other place to be, and we have to take care of the kid, and the kid starts to really like it where they are, I just think it's so wrong to have to uproot them again. I get why it's hard for her, but I also think that she is at a very mature age if she's in her 50s. So I just really hope that they take care of this kid and they do a good job, and they only give up the kid if they're sure that the next family who's gonna Take Him is really a good family, and they have to be really sure about that, because otherwise I really wouldn't uproot this kid again, because he has been through a lot clearly. Otherwise he wouldn't have been removed. So yeah, but it is a hard situation, and there's a lot of things you have to think about. But I still think that they should take the responsibility. I think they're mature enough to do that. And I also think it's something entirely different when it isn't your own kid, because you've not had to go through the whole pregnancy and birth part. And I think the whole pregnancy and birth part is a thing that scares a lot of people. I don't know if that's like one of the reasons why she didn't want kids, but I think a lot of people have togophobia, and just the whole thought of being pregnant and giving birth really scares them. I know I really don't like the thought of being pregnant and giving birth myself. So yeah, but it really is hard. But I really think sometimes we have to like put ourselves aside, even though it's hard, and then we have to focus on another human being. And in this scenario, she has to put herself aside to help this kid. That's personally what I think. And again, either they're gonna have the responsibility until the kid is old enough, or maybe they are lucky enough to find like a good family for him, but have to be sure that it's good family before they uproot him, because kids who have just constantly been uprooted, that's not good for them. They need this safe base. And even if he comes to another family, I still think it's important that they keep in contact with him, because if they keep in contact with the kid, if he gets uprooted to another family, then he still have his safe haven, which is them. And I can just hear by what he's writing that he feels safe where he is. So I just think it would be really sad to uproot him, even though it's gonna be hard. And if she really, really is bothered by this, of course they should try and uproot him and find him a family that they know is good for him. They should really, really try to find a good family for him, and they should make sure it's a good family, because a kid like this, if he constantly gets uprooted, that's just gonna mess with him even more. So either they take full responsibility for him until he reached 18, or how old he needs to be able to take care of himself. Either do that, or to find a really great family for him that they are sure are good for him, and they are sure that he can stay in until he's old enough to take care of himself. So that's kind of what I think. So the next story says, I'm regretful for health reasons. My experience is different than most. Here, I adore the humans my kids are. They're phenomenal. But they deserve more. Being a mom has been so much more work emotionally and physically than I ever expected. But what's made me regretful is my health. To make a long story short, I am reminiscent from cancer that has a high recurrence rate. I've done all I can for now, but if it comes back, usually it's very quick, 6 months to a year. I fucking hate that they had to experience the shit they've already had to go through. They've seen me too ill to walk and taken away via ambulance, bald, having surgery after surgery, and the trauma of losing a parent would be horrible. I can't even fathom it. My daughter prays every night that she can die the same day as me, so we'll never be apart. I'm the default parent, as most moms are, so they're used to me always being the one that's there. I'm doing all I can to be here as long as I can for them. I'm very strict about what I eat, and I exercise 6 times a week. Even signed up for an experimental treatment that kills healthy functioning parts of my body in the hopes to be around longer, but at this point I've done all I can. I was previously very healthy, watched what I ate and worked out. Never would imagine I'd get cancer at a young age. Silly how we think we have so much control over health, but now parenting with chronic health conditions from all treatment is exponentially harder. Not to mention the medical PTSD I have to makes it hard not to have panic attacks on the daily. I get overstimulated so easily, and I am not the parent I want to be. To be frank, I hate the mom I am, the shell of what I want to be. I wanted to enjoy all the extracurriculars. I wanted to enjoy engaging in the wonderful humans they are, but it's hard to enjoy when you're exhausted to the core. Sometimes I vomit, I get so fatigued. You likely advised me to see a doctor. I have. Unfortunately, after active treatment, doctors tend to not know what to do with you. They're used to treating older, retired adults, not young adults who still have to work, have young kids. So they kind of shrug their shoulders and tell you to deal with it. If I knew I would been this kind of a parent, I wouldn't never done it. They don't have the best of me or even close. I don't have enough patience or energy, and I'm in my mid-30s. I love them and they deserve more. The guilt I feel over having them and even getting married is horrific. They all deserve more. I work full-time and do the homework, dinner, cooking, yet I'm told by my family and doctors to rest. How? LOL, we don't live near family and it's not an option to move because of my husband's demanding job, and my son has special needs. So he has a lot of extra doctor appointments and help with school work. His doctor suggests other activities and professionals to help him in, and I just want to cry. There are only so many hours in a day. They need more, they deserve more, and this world is turning to shit. The only thing that helps me to sleep better at night is that I have a great life insurance policy, so everyone will be okay financially at least. I want them to have a magical childhood full of love. All it's been has been sickness, vomit, and pain, all during a damn pandemic. So, what I'm thinking of, firstly from reading the story, is that she's right. You never know what tomorrow brings. You never know if you're gonna get sick. You can live like the most healthy life you possibly can think of and still get sick from stuff like cancer. And this story definitely makes me emotional because I feel so bad about her blaming herself for this, because she clearly loves being a mom, she clearly loves her kids, and it's not her fault that she got sick. I know it probably is a terrible experience for the kid, but it will never be her fault. Like, you never know what cards you are dealt in life. You can't know this kind of stuff. I know that most moms take most of the responsibility for the household, but I can't fathom that she's this sick and no one has taken over her responsibilities. I just can't fathom how she can be that sick and her husband or other family members that she knows, whether it's her own family or in-laws, haven't helped in this situation. I can't fathom why people haven't helped her more. How is she supposed to rest, as she said herself, when she needs to do everything, basically? I do not think that her husband working a lot makes it okay that he doesn't help more. Like, if she's this ill and she might even die, like, she doesn't know. She's tried everything she can try. Like, I can't even fathom that he doesn't help more. It just makes me so angry when situations are like this one and people aren't helping out more, like family members or her husband. I just think it's so wrong. The thing that makes me most angry and sad about this story is that she doesn't get help. There's nobody helping her with responsibilities. Because if she can't, like, get a break, if she can't rest, how is she supposed to get better? So I'm really angry and sad about nobody, like, helping her. And then I'm really angry and sad about that she's blaming herself this much, because it's not her fault. Again, you do not know what cards you are dealt in life. You do not know if you're the person who dies young. You never know. Like, for example, I know this is something different. This is a slow killer. But my boyfriend got type 1 diabetes, I think he was 13, and just hated it ever since. Because no matter how healthy you live and no matter how good you live, when you have diabetes, it is slowly gonna kill your body. And because he has diabetes, he's going to have just in general a lot of health problems. And as he ages, he's gonna get more and more. That's just the cards he has been dealt. And it just is extremely unfair. Life is just extremely unfair in a lot of different ways. For example, I had a really bad childhood. Genetics and my childhood made it so that I'm mentally ill today. So you never know what kind of cards you're dealt in life. And that is what is so hard about life. I really hope in the least that she can stop blaming herself, because it isn't her fault. It will never be her fault. And I really hope that she does something to wake up the people around her so she can get help, because she shouldn't be doing all this and being sick. Like, that's just so wrong. There should be someone stepping in. And if she has the finances, I don't know if she has the finances, but if she has the finances, she should definitely get some kind of, like, I don't know what you get in this kind of situation, but somebody who can help her around the house so she has the time to rest. Honestly, this story just, it makes me so sad. I really am an empath, and I easily feel other people's feelings and their pain and sadness, and things really, really easily affect me. I was not expecting there to be this kind of a story on here. As you said, her story is different from most people on this page. Life can just be so extremely unfair. Really, really unfair, and I hope she survives. I really, really do hope that she somehow survives. And like, it's so strong of her to do like everything that she can to get better. And she clearly has a great heart, because she's thinking this much about her kids. And if she sadly dies, well, that's the really sad part, because then the husband has to step up to her plate, because he clearly hasn't done that yet. And if he has to do that, I really hope he gets a connection with the kids, because if they mainly have a connection with like one of their parents, it's gonna be so hard losing that parent, because they are clearly most connected, as I can read in this. They are most connected to their mom. So yeah, it's really, really sad, and I just hope it ends out in a good way. I hope in the least that she can stop blaming herself so much, because it is not her fault, and you can never know what happens in life. You can never ever know. You know, I could walk out today and a car could like drive over me. You never know what is going to happen in life. So I really hope that she stops blaming herself. But yeah, guys, that was the video for now. It was a sad video, I would say, with the last story here. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed this story. Hope you could enjoy it, even though there were some noises from my pets and from my computer. I still hope you enjoyed it. And again, if you really like these stories, I would love to do more, because I also find it really, really interesting to hear other people's struggles and to hear why they regret having kids. And she doesn't necessarily regret having kids here in the last story. She just regrets getting cancer, and she regrets something she can't even change. Like, she regrets something that she didn't even know was going to happen. So I hope she stops blaming herself. Yeah, guys, if you like me, if you like my channel, if you like what I'm talking about, please remember to subscribe and like and comment down below. I love when people just leave behind a nice comment for me or other people to read. And I hope to see you soon in another video. Bye, guys!